Dr. Somah, welcome, sir. Sorry and thanks for your patience.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, some of these conversations, I guess you are enjoying them.
Of course, I like the dialectic intellectualism.
Yeah, you can just speak a little louder so the people
Oh,
hear.
I say I love the exchange, or the discussion with different people and their views on how we can develop Liberia or move forward. So it is healthy to see people speak on the issues.
Okay. Uh, Someone says sometimes you just ignore their call if I'm not allowed them to talk. The person talk. The person talk for more than 2 minutes. I say, yeah, but the person very much want to talk. But I can be looking. Now, you followed the Independence Day. You listened to the orator. You listened to the president. I mean, give us some highlights. This is the independence. Going back to 1847, some of the things that he said. What do you think we need to pay attention to?
What we need to actually pay attention is our history.
I think I still need a little more volume from you.
Really?
Yeah. Speak a little louder.
Is it okay now? Is it okay?
Just increase your own volume.
Really? Okay.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, you gotta speak with more force.
Okay.
How you sounding tired today, so?
Man, look, I've been driving. I lost my sister.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, actually, I came to bury my sister.
Okay.
Then the soccer player who played for Hippopotamus that I supposed to have, carry with me to the United States, she died also.
Ooh.
Yes, so it has been a little bit difficult.
Okay, I see. Our condolences and thanks for accepting our invite again.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So what can we learn?
What we can learn is to go back to our history. If we forget where we came from, we are always going to repeat the past, and that past will become a drag on the development of Liberia. First, there was no monolithic philosophy upon which Liberia was developed. Because of the lack of monolithic philosophy, we don't have similar thing like Marshall Plan for the development of Liberia. Each president who comes in, if there were another president that had been working on the development of Liberia or special project, they're going to be erased, and then we start from all over. So this history of lack of unity from the very, very beginning, it continues to haunt our nation. We have had several national orators with recommendations. What have we done with it? Every year, every July the 26th, from J.J. Roberts to this gone 26 independent orations, there were recommendations. Were they implemented? Or are we just coming together to listen to beautiful words and ideas without implementation? If we had, our nation who have been very, very far ahead other nations in the world. Yes, the orator did well, call on the president for those who are not willing to function to be dismissed. We got to be sincere with ourselves. The best or worst, let me start with the worst. A disease to kill is a person who created disease for himself or herself. If you are your own witch, to find your medicine, it's going to be very, very difficult. And this is the situation. Like
if you are your own witch,
that's correct.
To find
your own cure, your own medicine. If you were to go to a medicine man and say, I'm sick, but you wish yourself, you are your own witch, how are you going to get cured?
And you think that's what the country has been doing to itself?
That's correct.
How?
Well, most of the things that affect this nation is self-inflation from the genesis of this nation. Just imagine the 88 immigrants that were on board the Elizabeth coming to this country. They fought from New York all the way. all the way to Liberia. There were no unity. There were no blueprints for this country. No blueprint. You and I were discussing at the time of independence, there were only 11 towns with 3,000 citizens that declared the independence of the Republic of Liberia, leaving all 800,000 of the indigenous. No inclusion. When one government is in power, that's it. They look up for their members. So the breadth and breadthiest in other organizations or political party, we don't bring them on board to consult them for the development of Liberia. You in Liberia, tell me when the government ever called the experts to ask them questions, to testify before a construction, concession, or any business, any is implemented. Just recollect. You see, to make an informed decision for your country to develop, you got to go to higher education. When they brought in the economic department, the geography department, to say, hey, China coming in.
Like they would do in other countries with research and all those
That's
kinds
correct.
of stuff.
You conducted research for the government, you gave that research to your government, and they make informed decisions. We don't do that. Look, I travel the country. There are places where I see some foreigners in our forest. You cannot go to China and you be in that forest. Or they say, okay, this is a community forest, and you just allow people who are not Liberians, they just in there. Anything they see, they take. Any tree they see, they cut it down. We create a lot of cell wounds, and we are our own enemies. And until this nation can bring her best and brightest and develop a plan that when President Bassa is gone, the next president will follow that plan for development, we are going to be in the predicament. So we are our own witch.
This is the OK conversation we have with us, Dr. Syrulwa Somah.
Syrulwa.
Oh, Syrulwa. Syrulwa.
There you go.
Somah. He has written extensively and all of that. We have called him in to hear from him. Some of the other day he was here. We were looking at one of his books, a very huge one. That was the history of Liberia before I think 1847.
Before 1847.
Yeah, you talk about how the different tribes came in the other day and other. But we wanted to spotlight the Bassa. I think where we are is it originally Bassa land?
Bassa country.
Yeah, it's Bassa country. But give us the historical delineation, extent of Bassa country.
Well, this particular place that is called Monrovia, or called Duobo, mean the head or the end of the Du River. Here you had the Mamba Bassa, and
they said the very tight ones.
Yes, very small in statues and things like that. Then we have the Dane, and a lot of historians are going to debate that. What is a Dane? It means the St. Paul River. So if you live by the river, or you are a seller of banana, and we had 3 to 4 Marys or Julius, they're going to say Julius Banana. They use that adjective to distinguish the 3 individuals with the same name.
Okay.
So the Bassa that moved to the Dane were called Dane Bassa. But there's no such thing as Dane. They and the Bassa, we are the same people. So, this region that is known today at Waterside was called Jenny. Jenny was a lady who used to sell, and she and her family lived at that particular place. Behind there, you have the 99 states, where when people came in the dark, they would go through that 99 state. That state was kind of linked to the Poro and the Sandy University. As you may know, if you are familiar with that institution, even among the Gribble from which you are from, we had a war. Before the young boys or the warriors will come to town, they got to go and bathe themselves. That bathing was a purification or baptism, not based on Christianity, but that you are going through the ritual to be man, and then after you're showered and everything, you walk upward. That means you are now going to quote unquote higher heights. You have reached that epitome where you can participate in the governance of your own people. So where you have Waterside today, where you have that bridge, that is a Poro University, the Centennial Pavilion, that is a Sandy. On the arrival of the settler, there was a major missteps. They saw the young girls, they blonde you, they only put chalk on them, and then they tie the lapa short way around themselves. One of the settlers defied this girl. To put it plain, she got raped. That was the turning point between the settler and the indigenous. So they said to them, look, what you had done here, we don't do it here. But let us go into the grove. Let us follow the road for reconciliation. They refused. And so there was a huge commotion. Now, imagine I living from here, or you living from here, and you go to Washington, D.C., and you tell the American government where they had a White House is where you want to rent your room or build something there. They say, no, this is our institution. Now they went to the Oracle where you have that little cotton tree. It stays standing there. If you have to change, you and I, we can go there. There's a well there. Somebody said that well was 1822 a bit for the settler. But hey.
Where do you have cotton tree?
Yes.
Where? I mean where?
Oh, where you have the bridge, the Gabriel Tucker Bridge right there. The 99 there is.
Yeah. Okay.
But all these things are now destroyed. Okay? So now they went to the Oracle, what they call Bokankan Gomla. They went to the Bokankan. And the Bokankan told them that, hey, take a brown chicken and put it in the well, in the Oracle. If the brown chicken dies, Liberia going to have a problem. If they don't reconcile the thing what the fellow had done, this nation going to have a problem. Well, they never did. No reconciliation occurred. Now what happened next? There was a war
because they didn't believe in that tradition.
They didn't believe in it. To them it was cardboard nonsense stuff. But whether you believe it or not, it was their spiritual view that caused the problem. The Crown Hay War. The 800,000 people they say, or 800 people that they fought, they killed, they were encroaching on that land. You tell me who are the 800 or 800,000 people they were talking about? Well, the indigenous. They got angry. And so there were a lot of killing. Well, fast forward, we come to President Talbot.
Okay, before we come there, let me
Yes.
take you back. The migration of the Bassa to Liberia, and you really did not give me the historical delineation of Bassa country, whether from Monserrato to Grand Bassa or to Riverside, those.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Sorry, just hold me, bring me back. I will
Yeah,
tell
sure,
you.
I will always.
Well, you have something called Bassa and Grind Bassa, where you have that rock propping up the island where you have
Where?
Duko area there.
Uh-huh.
Okay, when the Portuguese came, they saw that place because they were trading with the Bassa at the time, those who were in the coastal regions, the Gola and the Goda king late. But some historians will say that the Goda were the first here. The Goda came to look for salt. One of them got drowned. The person died, and they sent another hunter. And when they came, they gave them place to live. That is the oral histories of the people from themselves. Okay? Now, then later on, they discovered that the Bassa were bigger than what they had seen around here, all the way to Ledekola and then to the big Bassa. So then they used the word Grand Bassa, that's how we got our name. Okay? So
the Grand Bassa from Dassa.
That's correct. Okay. At one point in Liberia here, Bassa was a trade language. Bassa was a trade language. In fact, it was declared the official language of the Republic of Liberia. At that time, we have Dr. Kanga. He's still alive. You can contact him. The late Joseph Bayou passed in the United States. Those were the two individuals available to teach the Bassa in addition to Morgan. But they were engaged in other things. This is how the Bassa that was declared the official language of the Republic of Liberia never became the national language.
When do you remember when that declaration was made?
Todman. Okay. During Todman administration. Bishop Stephanie, they have the Bassa's Association in Liberia here. Every embassy around the world, they had Bassa calendars. If you went to your county, Maryland, you will see Bamenpo, Hoffman, Bamenpo. Okay, you went to Cape Ma, Willikwa. You went to Gibi. You went to Nimba, Ba. At one point, all the district commissioner of the Republic of Liberia were Bassa. And when Liberia was divided into 3 provinces, okay, you see people like Williams. Those were Bassa, with the exceptions of William from Lofa. I'm not here to say, don't get me wrong, because I know some people going to be jumping at me, like, you try to, say Bassa own everything. But at one point, the president of Cameroon, Omajuro, he visited Liberia, and he and Towa taught me how a conversation. He said, how the Bassa people are treating you. And when he came to administration, the Bassas were there in this country. Journalism, Joseph Bayou, the best trusted right-hand man of President Todman, Bassa. So the delineations here, our people did not actually measure the land, but you will see places like Kabay, when you hear Kabay Mamba or Mamba Kabay, they were using river. Then you go to the St. John River. We didn't call it St. John, we said Dabai. Dabai means to measure. Those were the natural entity that were used to delineate where the Bassa land stopped and so forth. But the point that I'm making is that every administrative area in the Republic of Liberia, the Bassa served there.
Now, let's go back to their coming to the country. Coming to this place now called Liberia. Let's trace their journey.
Okay. Let us go to the.
But what is the title of the book? Did you come with it? The Bassa book.
Historical resettlement of. History, Migrations and Government of the Bassa.
Yeah.
That is a book.
I just want to show it to people so that they'll be able to.
I didn't bring it. But what I brought is the Juakayu, the legends of the Bassa. Also,
but you write very huge books. How come we didn't know about you, sir? No, but honestly, you are a national treasure. There are not too many Liberians. Folks, see the kind of book you remember. See the volume, how voluminous this book is. This one is what? Juakaju. Legend of the Bassa. This is a very huge book. How many pages? Let me see. It's like 554 pages.
Yes.
This is a book about Bassa people, Legend of the Bassa. It is 554, and he also wrote a historical account of the Bassa.
And that's correct.
How many books on Bassa did you write?
I have written about 3.
Okay.
Yes.
3 books on Bassa alone, and you've written different other materials. Okay, now, so let us go back to the historical journey.
Okay. If you would, let's go biblical.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to be religious right here, but the Bible, especially
And sometimes you can come across as a preacher.
No, not at all.
Yeah, but you seem to have that aura, that voice, and
Okay. Well, I grew up around a lot of preachers.
Okay.
Where we
and also Baptist preachers and Methodist preachers. Like
absolutely.
That. Okay.
Yes. So if we were to look in the Bible, you will hear the word Abyssinia.
Mm-hmm.
Abyssinia is a corrupt word for the Union of Bassa in Ethiopia. They were the Bassa migrated from.
Okay.
The Bassa were also pharaohs, Pinky and Tapaka of the 5th dynasty of Egypt. They were Bassa who ruled that nation. It's in the history book. Then the invader, the Assyrians, plus the Moroccans, caused the migration of the Bassa through Sudan. Then they moved to somewhere called Cameroon. If you go to Cameroon today, you will see a lot of Bassa there. In fact, with Bassa named Menyaga, you will see them there. In fact, Menyaga was one of the best football players in Cameroon. I got a picture with me here with a gentleman that plays, who plays soccer ball with me in South Carolina. His name is Chie. Sintina Dana Chie. Again, we got Zulu, Z-U-L-U. They are all in the Cameroon. From Cameroon, they travel all the way and they came to what they call River State in Nigeria. The Bassa are there. Ojukwu was a Bassa man who fought the war in Biafra. The Biafra war was based on the Bassa land. So they traveled from there and they came to Togo. You're going to see Bassari. There they spell it B-A-R-S-A-S. Bassari. From Bassari, you hear the word Guinea-Bissau, the Kitran, you will see the Ba mean people of the Bantu. B-A-N-T-U. Ba. And Jesus Christ himself said, Abba, Abba Father, Abba Father. So just look at the Bassa language when we say Abba, it means father. So the words, we look at the words, the phonetics, it continues through the migrations of the Bassa. Then they came to what is known today as Ghana, Nana, or Accra. According to legend, the word Kra, Hwara, it means the grove. So when anything beset the people, they will go into the grove and they sat down around the cotton tree. Was their democracy, and everybody would talk and there would debate, there would be no violence. So in Bassa they say, I'm to go around means to go in the sanctum of the grove and come up with a solution. Mm-hmm. There where the word Accra is coming from. Some Ghanaian will come and tell you that just tell and say, what is the meaning? Now they're going to come up with their own modern meaning, but according to the legend, there's where they passed. They came to second Takrade. From there, we came to a place called Nyanya. Today, Africa Coast, what they call Grand Bassa. It was the last place that we gather, the crown today, the belly, the sapo, the gribble, and the cloud. We all came and built Pan or Nyanya. And that is the topic of that book, Nyanya Gomla, History and Migrations and the Government. While we were there, something happened.
Tell us.
Well, it was a war. It was a mistake between the crown and the sapo. The sapo king or the cloud. But they would debate that also. But one of them was hunter. And one of them, the sapo has something we call D. D is a round like a ganga ball, but a very, very powerful. If we wanted to make farm, you would take the D, you shunt, okay, and you would throw it. Rain, you would throw the D, and the rain will fall. Whether you believe it or not, it was their belief system. So the hunter went to Sapo area for hunting, and he killed a bush cow. And he and his family took the bush cow, they cut it. And the man said, but you shot a bush cow in my area, where's my portion? He said, Sergio. He said, excuse me? He said, I didn't see it. Well, this powerful thing that they travel with, which was the cause for rice to grow or whatever, even if you were going to war to make them to win.
Was it like a medicine part?
Yes. You know, so now when you use medicine, it kind of, they look at witchcraft. That's why I don't want to use that metaphysics, something like that. So they took it got lost. They asked and said, but you guys were playing with it and your children were playing with it. He said, well, you killed a bush cow. He said, you don't see it. I didn't see this treasure trove that would cause a war between the crown and the Sapo decided fighting. Look, call any Sapo man, they will tell you. When they went to the river, they couldn't cross and they were fighting. And they said that they put their mouth on the cotton tree, they continued to pray and pray until it fell.
Wow.
And they crossed. This is why in Sapo history, they said, don't play with us. When we put mouth, we are the one who can put, we are the one who put mouth on cotton tree, it fell for the cross. Okay? Now, during the day when we fought war, the higher number was 7. Then the war got to end. They said, in Yajwe, me, I have brought the arch. Then the war ends. But they didn't do it. They fought until they killed 9 persons. Then the better that are in Lofa today, they are, we call it Kuwa, Kuwaa. They don't belong there. But they got angry and said, we are going to leave because our father told us that when we fought war, after 7 persons died, we should end the war. And you have killed 9. So we are going to go far away from this nation. That's how they got to the better, what they call the better today. But they are not better. They are Kuwaa. Now when they got to Lofa, the wife couldn't born. They said that something called planting kin to the lady. So each time she gave birth, the baby dies. So they went to a medicine man. And they said to the lady, name your child a doll, bellow. Yes. So that spirit that was killing the baby, when it comes to town, there will be no baby there but nothing but dolls. That's how bellow grew up and represented the better people when they were collecting taxes. They wanted for, how they call it, to do labor by the government. When the young, huge, handsome, 200-pound guy show up, they call him, who are you? They say bellow. That's how they become better people today. These are the history, Julius, that are very, very important.
And then from that same incident, Bassa to Life and King, did they participate in that war from Bassa?
No, the Bassa, they did not participate in the Sapo and the Crown War. They did not. Okay? Now, remember this migration that I'm talking about. It was not just 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. The thing was gradationally. It took a very, very long time for the Bassa to migrate. They came to a place, and then the other person went to hunt for the elephant, where he kills the elephant. You know, you couldn't bring it to town, then you build something called Vade. It's a first farm that you can make all the clay. Clay become Vade, and then you go all the way to Cleveland or big towns and stuff like that. So people begin to move in different directions. Now you see the Bassa in River Cell, because they live by the river. You know, you had to scream. You got to talk louder for people to hear. And as if people separated, we learned that because of the geography, the language began to change. And in the changing of the language, they created their own atoms. So if you and your son went to the grove and he asked you, say, Daddy, what is that? You better come up with a name. So new vocabulary was invented. But all the particular individual or ethnic group that I'm talking about, they belong to one group. So this is how the Bassa arrived in Liberia through all the countries and everything that I have named, especially to the place what we call Dubo or today Monrovia.
Wow. But in terms of their evolution, in terms of their what is in education, is in traditional practices, there are some distinctive features about them that people, whether it is stereotypical or now people talk about them being hospitable, they're talking about them being a highly erotic, romantic kind of people, and all those kinds of things. Are there historical antecedents to these kinds of stereotypes also?
There is something of vocabulary, a word in Bassa, and they call it day. Day. It means to be sweet. So when you came to visit me, you are my day. Day ni. If I were to put something in my mother, can say, a day, okay? So every stranger that we saw, according to our tradition, that person can be your angel, and on the other side, he can be your worst enemy. But we look at the good things in the individuals. So if you see a stranger, they have strangers to sleep on the bed that you sleep in or you sleep on. All right? So doing good is really, really emphasized in the Bassa, in our tradition. At one point, people came in the country to marry Bassa women to become a citizen. Just how it's done, or it was done in the United States of America. Oh yeah, in the same thing here. How they call it, the Ogashi, the Daminda, from Togo, some of them from Sierra Leone and Ghana and Guinea, and I don't know, but I took a Guinea from Ghana and Nigerians and things like that. It was a wonderful thing to become a Liberian, and this is how most of the Nigerians who went to the United States, they went there on Liberian scholarships. Okay, the first president of Nigeria, he got his bachelor's degree from the University of Liberia. Izigwe. So Liberia was, or at that time in history, the president was Mr. Africa. We had the largest West African hospital, teaching hospital, JFK. You couldn't go to London, the United States, until you passed through RIA on Penem. This was Liberia, man. Banks, Italians and Americans, and you name them. We had it here. We had our joker machine. 24-hour electricity, red lights. This is the country that gave passports to those who were revolutionary around the world. Nelson Mandela and his wife, they got a house.
Yeah, somewhere Congo Town.
In Congo Town.
Yeah, somewhere.
You see? We brought war to an end. I remember during the Biafra War, according to history, the late Toba was on speed A. I had to call that jet plane and flew there, and the war came to an end. We sent our first more powerful General Kopwe Johnson, to the Congo to host the flag of Liberia. Then Angie Brooks. This country had prestige, man. It was Liberia. And here we are today. Something they fundamentally wrong.
We'll come to that. Let me still hold you to the Bassa. In terms of their intermingling with the settlers and the issue of land sale, it's also one of the things that is talked about, that the selling of land, even up to this date, it is something I still noticed that they seem to have a whole lot of land. They seem to love to sell land. Am I right?
It's a myth. It's so disgusting to blame the victims. And one thing I read in Liberian history, and this is what I got into it, is to look at the ugliness in our history and the myth and continue to read about it. Even from the notable historians, A. Banks, she was not a historian. She had her PhD in social work. She just took different work and put it together, and it became a Liberian history that was never revised. And every other historian came, they based their work on the myth. Let me tell you something. The ACS were not the only organization in the United States. You have organizations in more than 29 states that send people here. Not under the ACS. The Scandinavian were involved to transport the free people here. Now, can $100,000 be a nation? That's what they gave them, the first money, $100,000 to bring settler in Liberia. You talk about more than 20,000 of them that they sent here. Well, let's go to John Stockton, the first gentleman, war hero in the Mexican War, who brought the people, the settler. You think, did he come to carry them back? He was going to settle them here by any means necessary. And that's what he did. All right? On the arrival, what people didn't understand that these people were on the ocean for months. There were no medical doctors. Some of them died. Most of the people died. Then they arrive here. And when they arrive here, you have mosquitoes and malarias and dengue fevers and other infectious diseases that they were not used to. 77%, if I'm not making a mistake, of the settlers that came, they died. They were hungry when they came out of the ship and all that kind of stuff. And then they met the young man called Kahidie or Ball Gray and all the kind of names that they use in Liberian history. The person who brought them here was John Kizell. He came from South Carolina with a British parent, and he claimed to have owned the prevalent island. Okay? So, you go and ask all the chiefs or the older peoples in Liberia. We never sold land. Land was the collective property of the people. The land belonged to the God. You couldn't sell it. Go to Gamlemo, what they call Gamlemo right here, what they call Ambuikar. You go there, ask the people what they call it under the tree, Gamlemo in Pele. When the Vai people came, when they were looking for land, they say, hey, you go under that tree. You'll build your house there and stay. We didn't know anything about land sale. Now, one of the Liberian historian called Patrick Borrow wrote a book that he had discovered the deed that the Bassa people used to sell that land. You are talking about 1822. Recently. Civilization started a long time ago. Tapping. Well, let's go back to Egypt, where people used to use the thumb to stamp. If they saw something, show us where the Bassa men stamped that thumb. There were no land sale here. Nobody sold land here for small fish. Do you know at the time of the arrival, go to Little Bassa today, they say getting fish from there. Bonings, mackerel, snapper. So they will leave all the wonderful fish and go to some kind of salted something called small fish and gunpowder and tobacco. We have country tobacco here. We traded with the Portuguese, as I said in our first discussions. The Dutch, the Kenya for our pepper, for our country tobacco. So there was no such thing in the history of Liberia that anybody can produce with alacrity and say, yeah, it's a day. So this Liberian historian from, I don't know, he wanted to prove people to be right. If the American who sent the people here, who had records of the American Indians, cannot locate the deed, you come up with something and say, yeah, it's a deed.
And so why are you saying the land was given and not sold?
At gunpoint. I'm telling you, this particular place, it was the Sandy and the Poro University couldn't be sold. I don't care what kind of money you brought here, they were not going to do it. We done. Go to Lofa, go to other places where they have the men and the women Poro grow. At that time, you said you're going to sell it? Let me tell you something. There was a direct link with you or us and the ancestor. That was what they say, ancestral growth. You couldn't sell it. I'm just telling you. Okay? The major thing I'm telling you was the rape. That caused a problem. The arrival. And they came with chips on their shoulders. That there was no civilization here, that we were savage or savages. Shaver or wolves and heathens. Those were our description.
Mm-hmm.
The Bassa told chimos on their heads. You know what they call chimos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Those were our work. Here. If you didn't have quinine, you couldn't enter the University of Liberia. Look, we need to reconcile. We need to revive our history and get off the nonsense we are saying about each other. You talk about the crime and they say the Ifayako. You talk about the Dan, they say they are belligerent. You talk about the VAR, they say they are proud. I'm asking the whole of Liberia, can you say something good, better about your own nations and people? Their contribution to this Republic of Liberia. Until we revise the thing and we teach our language and our culture and our tradition and our spirituality to our people, we are not independent.
This is the OK Conversation on OKFM 99.5. We have with us Dr. Somah. And this is his second appearance here. I'll make sure I have both of the appearances uploaded on YouTube. They're also on the stations, but just those particular ones so that you're able to watch. Hopefully, I know I've spoken to Dr. Burrows as well before. Hopefully, I can find a time. He's in the U.S. Perhaps when you go back to bring both of you in. On the panel to debate some of these things. That would be a very good thing. What could be some of your pieces of advice? You started off saying we are like our own witches and wizards, and what could be your advice to the current leadership of the country to tackle some of these existential issues that we have?
First, we need to feed ourselves. We need to add 2 or 3 more staple foods in Liberia. We have it already. Okay? We cannot just depend on China and Thailand and other nations, India, Japan, to continue to supply the nation with rice. So the first suggestion, and this is not the first suggestion, we have made a suggestion. As I said, I made 39 trips to this country. And I promise you that we're going to give you my agricultural proposal, but I'm having problem with the internet, offline, and I have not been able to do that.
Well, once you got it, you can send it.
Yes, I will send it to you. Mm-hmm. But take all the counties and look at Lofa and say the largest rice farm in the Republic of Liberia. I'm not saying other countries shouldn't have rice farm, but government support them. I cannot have rice farm. It should be in Lofa. Then let's say we take Nimba. When you see the planting there, man, they are big and big. Take 500 to 2,000 acres of land, of government land, is nothing but planting. So then we powder that planting and it becomes our fufu. We can powder the edo as well as the way it's done in Ghana.
Cassava as well.
Cassava as well. Well, let's go to Grand Cayman. We do peanuts. Do you know Senegal, one of the largest country in Africa, depends on peanuts? If they can survive on peanuts, how about Liberia? We have no desert. So let's go to Cayman. Then we go to Grand Cru, and we say, you know what, we're going to grow cows. You have all the savannah there, and goats. All right? Take another 500 acres. So every county in the Republic of Liberia should be assigned to produce a specific crops that we as Liberians will depend on. That's agriculture. The other one is that, we can grow fish here.
Yeah,
We got
people have been trying it.
Yeah, they've been trying it, but I'm saying on
On a bigger scale.
That's correct. Okay, you have 4 types of catfish here, and it only takes 6 months to produce 5,000 catfish the size of a football field. If you did it good and put a feeder in there, 6 months, some of the thing lays up 5,000 eggs, shrimps and crabs. We can do that. We can produce our own fertilizer in Liberia. If you are going to the bush, to the beach, not the bush, but the beach, you see that brown looking stuff that is coming from the sea.
The coral reef.
Coral, thank you. All right. Like your fertilizer there. You can put young folk back to work. They collect that stuff. We make it out of fertilizer and we use it, natural fertilizer. So when you collect that stuff, the government buys it from you. Let us produce the largest pineapple farm and produce our own juice in this country. What are we importing these salty, sugary drink for our children? We're going to run into the problems of diabetes and other diseases and stuff like that. We have oranges of all kinds and tangerines and things like that. Why we cannot produce it? I also want to advise the government. Liberia is sitting on the basidic rocks. Basidic rocks. Look at Duko. And I was not yet born. I was a baby. I used to pass. I had Tower Hill. These rocks are still there. Why, Liberians to have a rock crusher here before? We can crush all our rocks by ourselves by bringing in machineries and stuff and things like that.
That is a conversation I have with the vice president who were in China. That very conversation about rock crushing and all of that was something that I brought up, and he felt that it is somewhere the government needs to go.
Yes.
Buy perhaps 3 or 4 rock crushers in and put them in regions.
That's correct. And you can build
so as to maintain the roads.
That's correct.
Even if you don't put quota there.
You don't need quota. Look at Virginia in the United States. No quota there is nothing but rocks. Okay? And if it comes to the safety aspects of it, I can do it for the country. You understand? So that's what I'm saying. When you are your own witch, it's just hard for people to kill you. Because everything that we need to be a great nation, it is here. I went to Bokistown. A bag of pepper is $150. A bag of pepper. Kitili.
LD.
No. US.
Oh, okay.
US. Okay? Better ball. Kitili. $80. Bag of corn. $60. And 58% of the soil of the Republic of Liberia is good for agriculture. So tell me, tell this son that's sitting here, what is our problem? We can grow shrimp here as well. Look, if we were to take we plant plums, or we just call it the plum leaves, and put it in one of the swamp, okay, and put crab there, you won't believe what's going to happen after 6 months. You're going to have so many crabs, you are not going to believe it, because they're where they grow. That is the environment, the conducive environment they need.
But what would the plum leaves do?
Well,
it's a rich in potassium or so.
No. That's they feed on it.
Okay.
But it gives them that the water got to be cold for the fish to lay egg. They have certain temperature. Other than that, they will not live. So if you have the molded leaves, the water is stable and the temperature is stable for the crab to grow. But here we call it buka. Listen to this, how we call crab here buka. Look, this country is rich. It just needs for to stop being selfish. The other thing is that I will advise the government to not be selfish. Selfishness is not good. There are some people right now in the government, when we were in the United States, I call full conferences at my university for the new Liberia. I used to call it the Third Republic. People like Philip Banks, he here in the council of the bank asking, we all came here. We all came here. Dr. Ewu Don, they all went there. Kesselly, who is now the nephew of the president, he attended one of the conferences. Mary Bro, all we had the conferences. We were talking about the Third Republic. You just you come in the country and you pick up the phone and you call them. They will not. They will not pick up the phone. So we have capable people. That brain, not brain drain. It's a misreplacement of the brain or being afraid of the brains. That's what happened.
Misplacement of the brains or being afraid of the brains. His name is Dr. Somah. Wow. We've been having quite a conversation right here. Strategically, we brought him for such a time as we continue to play our role to help the government do what is right and to have a bit of understanding of our history. 777-700-995, 59955, the numbers to call, and you will be through to the OK conversation. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Good evening, Julius.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for having a platform. I'm CSC Emmanuel to question I want to say good evening to your students.
My man, you seem to be in a noisy environment.
Julius, this is a committee, people be doing something verify error, but they're not
Okay, you can go ahead.
Is it better?
Yes, go ahead.
All right, thank you. So I think I'm very much okay with the level of history or historicity that your city gets up for, especially the ones surrounding the Bassa people, their settlement, and people of such should be encouraged to come part of to this school that will drive Liberia next future generation to be here. He's a good person, but I want to know, Julia. I want to ask him: is there a tools to the university is giving where we can chat? Because we, from a sociological background, would love to research and see if we can get similar things that he's saying to concur with his analysis.
Okay, thanks. Thanks so kindly. Let's see who's on this end. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Good afternoon, Julius.
Yes, go ahead.
Lawrence Boga from the Rafi Harvard. Julius, let me say thanks to the guests in the studio for exposing some of these things concerning the Bassa people. We the Bassa people. Let me say that. I'm a proud son of Bagi Bikante.
Boga.
Boga. Yeah, I'm a real guy. And Julius, they myth like the guests said about the Bassa people being so socially inclined or maybe sociable. I think these things are all myth, But again, Julius, prior to the war, I had the opportunity to live in Roses just before the 1990 war. And when we have strangers, like he said, that war, we use that war because we expect a lot. Strangers we consider to be sweet people, and that word they also means something that is also sweet. It's also means stranger. So when our grandparents we have to leave their homes.
So when the person is sweet, sometimes you do some sweet things with the person.
And that one language, I'm not gonna go like that. Like I was saying, our grandparents will leave their homes, give the room or the house.
Even the grown people do that. I know that my parents did that. They would give their rooms to the strangers, and sometimes they would sleep in the living room also.
Sure, and they assign somebody to you to fix your hot water. They get somebody to cook your food, and so now you see before the day comes to an end, you see the food coming from different places. That's what we do as Bassa people. That's why sometimes people see and say, "Oh, they sociable," but again, we are hospitable people.
Okay.
So again, I want to say thanks to the guests and thank you too for
thank you so kindly. Let's take Representative Muka Kamara, District Number 14, Monserrato County. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Julius, and good evening to the listening public and to our Dr. Somah in office in the studio. Yes. Dr. Somah said it right, and firstly, I appreciate you, Julius, for always bringing such a people on the radio so that we keep listening to what we need to know about Liberia. Like he said, all along we bring people to talk to us. The orator said what he could say to us, from time immemorial, these things have been happening. But what is the thing we learn from them? When we listen to them, do we put them into practice? No. We will not hope and pray that the policy makers of our country will listen, and then we can make a change to make our Liberia a better place. And again, let me say thank you. You need to keep it up. Call these kind of people at all times. Let Liberians listen to them. At least from there we can learn and make some changes and make effort in the forward march of our country. Thank you so much.
Thanks so kindly, sir, for your call as well. Sincerely appreciate it. Let me read some of the comments that have come in. How we need to change the way we think about our people and our country, more especially our heads who's supposed to show the way forward. This is one of a kind. Thanks, Mr. Chair. How can we expand this conversation? I will always try to bring her in. My interest is in the teaching and preservation of our Liberian local languages. On February 21, 2025, International Mother Language Year, I wrote to the Ministry of Education regarding this issue, but no response. I also visited ELBC to share the same concern, but unfortunately, I was not given studio time. Despite the silence, it's a long message from Moses Charles Kekula. Mark Phillips, we have our rocks and sand, but we allow Chinese sell our products to us before our eyes, and we talk about freedom. The problem is the way we think. Maxwell, some are doubting what he's saying. If this was being said by a white man, everyone would agree. They wash our brain, erase our history, lie to us about ourselves. Chuku, say what Jasper, so what in Grand Bassa will produce? Vamadi Donzo, we don't know our own history. Tanu Moisima, very educated. Thank you so much, sir. Boyka A. Cooper, the notion that the legendary Bassa chief Bob Gray saw the land to the settlers was a myth. Lands were used for communal purposes, hence could not be sold. Samuel Hollywood, wow, very interesting. Emmanuel W. Kofa says, I must appreciate my father in history for the information provided, thereby supporting my historical claims when I appeared on the OKFM Money Rush with Clarence Johnson. I salute to that. You know Emmanuel Kofa? Okay, good. 10,000 or 100,000 at that time was never small money. Okay. Now let me take 3 more calls and we'll come back to you. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good evening to you and the studio guest.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, all I want to say again, but the one that I disagree with is saying that the land was not sold in Liberia. Land was sold in Liberia according to the history that we like at that time.
Yeah, so he is challenging that history that at that time he gave reasons why land wasn't sold.
Yeah, but you saying that land was not sold in Liberia. Land was sold and came out a letter.
But hold on now, Chief. But at that time it was not Liberia yet. So let's understand that one for it.
But that way they were not in Liberia. When it comes to Liberia, they will not say land was sold in this country.
Okay, he will respond to you on that. Thanks so kindly. I don't know. Is this person's birthday today? Is there Madam Bryce's birthday? Is it today? I think so. If it is, happy birthday. If it is not, sorry. Then it may have been yesterday. But whatever the case is, she says your studio guests seem well intentioned about Liberia's agricultural revolution. Elevating this conversation should be of national concern. The world will not wait for Liberia. That is what she says. Let's take this one. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Good afternoon, Julius.
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. My name is Prince S. Kotima, and I'm from my FBA community.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm a commander studio guest. I think he spoke well. I think these are the kind of people for which we need in Liberia. Someone who will tell us about the past. I think it's all of what he said are all something that is welcoming. I think it's my first time to the year of some of the historic event for which he is giving. I think he is someone that would need to tap onto his knowledge, and he need to make himself visible and available to the people of Liberia so that he can help in tutoring the people of Liberia in the issue of history. I think he have a factual and balanced history. So thank you ever so much for this.
Thanks so kindly as well. Kindly ask our guest, what is the thing we continue to do wrongly that has kept Liberia to where we are? Nangbe Mate says that. I totally agree with your guest that we need to reconcile and revive our history. With this, what does he think of this phrase that is still within our national anthem, erase benighted? Are we still considered as erase benighted? And as Belly says that, we go back to you, sir. Just 2 minutes. We don't have enough time.
When people have not conducted research to debate with them and try to convince them, it's very difficult. When someone makes up his or her mind, you can't convince them. I'm telling you, most of the land in pre-Liberia at that time, you had the Sandy University and the Poro. You had the groves. They were not for sale. The land laws in Liberia were land that were taken by force from France to create Guinea, and the British to create Sierra Leone, and the French to also create Africa Coast. The area where you have the EJ Road, I'm just telling you, coming to the Centennial Pavilion, those were sacred places. You had certain type of creature you couldn't kill. In fact, the Dame Bassa, their hair was what they call goo, catfish. They came from the catfish. That was the Dame people would not eat it. That one time, the catfish jumped out of the river. It was lying on the rock, and the sun shines on the catfish, and the catfish grew legs and hands. They call it goo.
That is the legend.
That's a legend. So then the catfish, then the sea begin to talk to them. Ooh. Ooh. And then they say, Grandpa, God speak to us. It was through the mimicking of the sea that the vocal cord of the day were created. And he telling me, he said they sold the place. This is what the gentleman is telling me. They could not sell it. For millions of dollars, they could not sell it.
His name is Dr. Somah. Thanks so kindly. I don't know when you're going back, but we got to do one more.
Oh, God.
Before you go back.
Great,
I think you sort of go back next week. Let me know what your travel date is, and then we can bring you back.
Sure,
because you wrote a whole lot of things. You wrote on different things. You are steeped in history, but it seems you know a whole lot of other things.
My majors is in environmental science, occupational safety, and health.
So we need to talk about those as well.
With backgrounds in religions and philosophy.
Okay,
yes.
So when you come next time, we'll have to explore some of those areas too, because they are very important. And
I really want to talk about Jack Pablo, who gave you gun. I wrote a book on that as well.
Okay. So we package all of that in the next edition.
Thanks so much.
Thanks so kindly for being here, sir. My name is Julius. We'll see what tomorrow looks like. I cannot definitively say, but we are out. Thanks so kindly for being there. The news is up next.